Hello and welcome back, everybody. Today, I'm going to be looking at some details, Easter eggs, and references I was able to pick out and find in Matt Reeves' The Penguin. This show is glorious, amazing, beautiful, dramatic, and emotional. Sorry about the glazing, but before we get into this video, I never do ask, but if you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel. I don't like it when YouTubers ask, but hey, it would be nice. Also, I did make a new Discord, so if you feel inclined to join, it would be much appreciated. But anyways, let's just hop into the video. And of course, spoilers ahead, but what did you expect clicking on this video? So for this one, I'm really hoping Reeves changes up his name, but it's not really looking like it, lately at least. Anyways, this detail has been all over TikTok, and well, it's deserved. So here in this scene, we can see a peculiar looking glove. A glove we've seen many times in actually the Arkham universe. And I mean, come on, these have to be the pair of Scarecrow needle gloves designed to inject Crane's fear toxin into whoever he wishes, or I guess even himself. But not only are the gloves around, we can also see what appears to be a Scarecrow mask as well, more closely resembling the one we see on Cillian Murphy's adaptation of the character in the Dark Knight trilogy. I feel like there would be maybe a different design in the Batman universe, but you never know. We'll see. But before we move on, I mean, do I even need to explain why this is a scary detail? I mean, to have another mentally unstable villain on the streets of Gotham, whose goal is to test out his fear toxin, and like I said earlier, I'm really hoping that if Julian Rush, the guy we see in the show, is actually a Scarecrow, they at least change his name back to Jonathan Crane, doing it in a story-driven way. But anyways, Scarecrow in this universe could be so freaking good and would work really well. But I guess we'll have to wait a year and 10 months. Oh my god. Or unless you're watching this after the Batman 2 released, or another Batman show, but whatever. Let's just go ahead and move on. And of course, Arkham is in the name, and so I've got to bring this one up. But we finally get to see the long-awaited, the long-anticipated Pauli's Diner in The Penguin. Jokes aside, holy shit, Matt Reeves is awesome. He actually does care about DC, including everyone, of course, who worked on the show. I mean, just including Pauli's Diner here. So yeah, we see here Pauli's Diner, which is a reference to Pauli's Diner from the opening credits of Batman Arkham Knight, which, to me, Arkham Knight has a top 3 game openings of all time. Hearing that beautiful song while we cremate Joker, to seeing a packed Gotham City, watching a Scarecrow announces to them all that they need to evacuate. After, of course, Pauli's Diner is attacked by its own customers, killing and ravaging each other. The whole vibe is unmatched, but just seeing Pauli's Diner was just really, overall, really cool, and I'm glad everyone who worked on the show clearly cared, and evidently it turned into an absolute masterpiece. I mean, pretty much 2 Arkham mentions in the show is pretty damn good, and shows how glorious my King Batman. But anyways, let's move on. The next one is all about another villain we see in Batman's universe, the Riddler. So all the way back in the first episode, we can see here that this kid, I'm presuming a disciple of the Riddler, is handing out QR codes. Now, before I even bring up what happens if you scan it, this small detail that almost seems significant truly shows that Edward Nashton was actually able to complete his mission and make his true statement. Because now it's evident that his cult has begun to spread much past where it merely was just a few weeks earlier in the Batman movie. The serial-killing Saul-like killer now has a massive group of followers. And you thought Gotham was bad? Well, it gets even worse. But what the QR code will actually bring to you, if you were riding on that metro and scanned it, is this. An article on Alberto Falcone. Yes, the guy who gets clapped by Oz. No, not like that, but
hey, yo!
Anyways, I really do hope we see more of Nashton's cult and how it begins to spread more and more deep into Gotham. I presume it'll affect the lower class neighborhoods like Crown Point first, just because of how fed up everyone is there, but let's go ahead and move on. So, in the sequence we see Penguin speaking to a bunch of Gotham's smaller gangs to have them riot and of course coming together to take down Sophia, we actually see some pretty famous gangs in the DC comics present here, and that would be the Burnley Town Massive, led by Abel Crown, the Lowboys, and the Sullivan crime family. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see some other comic book gangs we've decided to include in the show. But what's even better is that in the show, all these groups are taken out by the end and killed, which is the same for the other appearances in DC media. The Sullivan gang in DC are all killed by the Holiday Killer in The Long Halloween. The Burnley Town Massive are all killed during the Batman War Games crossover. And the Lowboys actually seem to chill in other renditions, but anyways, it was really cool to see some other representation of smaller gangs in the Penguin, because we tend to usually see the Falcones, Maronis, and other larger Gotham-based gangs or crime families, and to see them in live action is pretty cool. Even though they had some rough luck by the end, let me know which other gangs you guys would like to have seen in the show, but anyways, let's move on. The next one kind of just sums up who Oz has been throughout the entirety of the series, walking right over the people he leaves in his wake. And a great example would be Oz actually using the exact same tunnel or room that his dead brothers were killed in by Oz. So yeah, here in this wide pan of the room, we can clearly see that this is indeed the same area we see Oz lock his brothers in, and eventually drown them in. And not even that, the train car that Oz finds a token in is the same one he eventually murders Sal Maroni in. Well, Maroni's body kind of did that to himself, but anyways, Oz throughout the show just became so cold. Cold? But anyways, this detail, having Oz's new operation facility right where his brothers died, adds greatly to the illusions that he places inside of his own head to help him sleep at night. Or, run a huge drug ring right under Gotham's nose. But this train station does not bear the weight of 2 souls, but the countless others killed in Sophia's bomb attack on Oz's gang down there, where Oz had a chance to tell them to run, to escape, but says nothing and allows a majority of them to die. Then Oz ends up hopping right down the hole he killed his brothers in to survive. Man, Oz is fucked. Have you ever wanted to go to a jewelry store to find that ring or pearl necklace for your loved one? Well, why not go ahead and pop into Burgess Jewelry for all your blingy needs? So, if you didn't know, Burgess Meredith, the actor who played the Penguin all the way back in the 60s, is actually in the show. And just like the diner, we see another store, Burgess Jewelry, which is a little callback to the 60s actor. And though it would have been cool to see DeVito Jewelry... But anywho, this is a really cool detail that does really remind me of the Arkham games, having little Easter eggs and callbacks to DC's past and adding to them, especially actors. I would have loved to see more superhero Easter eggs in the Penguin, but again, this is Reeves' verse, and I do know he wants to be picky and choosy with who he announces and what their abilities actually are, because they kind of have to be uniform with how the universe is. But I am happy to see a couple like the diner and the jewelry store, but like I said, I better see DeVito sandwiches or DeVito slush puppies soon, but let's go ahead and move on. Okay, this one I'm going to add a couple details because they're pretty small, so let's check them out. First up, we've got the Gotham Guardsmen, Gotham's professional basketball team we can see here in Crown Point. I personally love seeing sports teams in the DC universe, especially Gotham, because it just really deepens the lore and makes the world feel so much more expanded. Like these football scenes we see in the Dark Knight series, this scene really cracked me up. Get it? Okay, my bad. As well as the Guardsmen in Episode 8, we can see the Goodwin International Airport, a famous airport that is known as Gotham's main international airport. Again, I love seeing this continuation into deeper and more niche parts of DC lore, but imagine you were from Arizona and you were flying to London or something, and now you have a connection to Goodwin International Airport in New Jersey. You pretty much got a 50-50 shot of actually landing down on the tarmac without being shot at the sky by some supervillain. But finally, we see Summer Gleason of the Gotham Gazette, a pretty known character from the animated series, but all we need now is Vicky Vale. And here's a little theory. Victor Aguilar? Or is it really Vicky Vale? Let me know what you guys think, but let's move on. I've got to talk about one of the bigger characters in the later half, Rex Calabrese, who's actually quite a big character in the comics. And man, did I think his character was alright. I don't know, I liked how he acted about Oz's mom, or with her, but compared to the comics, man, he looks nothing like it. No offense to the actor, he acted amazingly as Rex, but I don't know, he almost looked a bit cartoony to me and just kind of weird, and with how dark the Penguin is, I don't know. But anyways, seeing Rex is really cool, and I am glad they decided to use an actual character from the comics who's able to fit the storyline pretty well. I personally would have liked to see him more, just doing the actual mobster stuff, but maybe taking Oz on a day out, showing him what's really up in Gotham behind the scenes, which could have explained a good amount of his knowledge we see in the show, besides his affiliation with the Falcons. But overall, I liked the character and really did enjoy his scenes when he got close to Miss Falcone and was offering assistance. But again, the character design to me could have been a bit better, as well as I just wanted to see more of him, because I did genuinely like his character, but maybe not the design so much. But let's go ahead and move on. This one I've been very excited to share, because if it's true, holy will it be good. The Court of Owls. So when I first heard about it, it was actually on TikTok. I was like, these people are obviously tripping out, but when you look at the courtroom scene here, where Oz is talking, a corrupted official, man, do these curtains look very owly. There's a chance they put in this reference, or it could just be bullshit, but it looks too obvious to be some random coincidence. And man, do I really hope the court is in the Batman Part 2. But another rumor that's been going around is that people seem to think Bella Real, the mayor-electee, is involved with the court. I really hope not. It would be nice to see another Gordon and Bruce type character who's purely for justice and doing what's right in the city. I mean, I could see Don Mitchell Jr. pitching it in with the court, but I really hope Belle Real isn't. Her character's really good, and see her actually fighting corruption rather than being a part of it would be a really good change for the Batman universe so far. Seeing her trying to potentially work with Bruce on some things like corruption and other gang-related violences would be awesome, and it would really fit her character well, in my opinion. But I don't know, let me know if any of you think she'll be corrupt or really like Bella Real. Whatever, let's move on to the last detail. And, I mean, lastly, I gotta talk about Penguin's fire new drip. I mean, my boy's iced out, finally. So, in the finale, we see Oz Cobb in his comic book outfit, and it's beautiful. He's got the suit, the top hat. I mean, he's clean. I'm so happy they ended up bringing his outfit back from the comics in the finale. Seeing him in it was great and finally cemented Oz becoming the true Penguin we all know. He kills his closest ally and becomes the D-bag we see in most of his other renditions. I can't wait to see his scenes in the Batman 2 because they did end up confirming that he will have around 5 to 6 scenes in it, which yes, is not a lot, but it's pretty good, and I am glad they aren't focusing on him too much and really delving deeper into some new characters. All I ask, either hush, Croc, please Croc, Freeze, or the court, or all of them, actually show up in the show. But anyways, overall, like I said, Oz has become a new man, a super fucked up crime boss, and please, just some justice for Vic. But anyways, thank you for watching. Please do let me know what you guys think about all of these details and what you're actually hoping to see in the future of the Battinson universe. And if you wouldn't mind checking out the new Discord where we can all chat about DC and Arkham, it would be much appreciated, and it would be awesome if you could drop a sub. But I honestly can't wait for the Batman 2, and I really am hoping it has some horror element with it, and of course with you-know-who. But other than that, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.